And we are live and we are back. Let's go. I'm Corey, your host, one half of the Quarter Full of Fed podcast. And I'm back like a never left with another installment of Money Mindset here on the Quarter Full of Fed podcast. We discuss health and wealth, finance and fitness, and everything in between. We're going to make sure you save more and save less and keep making better your best. Yes, yes. And I know y'all see the topic of today's video. We're going to get into, I feel like we discussed this a trio, but now we're just going to do a duo. We're going to get into Dave Ramsey versus Robert Kiyosaki and who's right, who's wrong. Today we're going to go to Money Wise. I had a Yahoo Finance, but every now and then I like to go to just I'll say less well known, at least to myself, articles so we can, switch it up a little bit and get a different flavor in theory, of information that we're getting here on the channel. But we did a previous episode where we did Robert Kiyosaki, I believe, Dave Ramsey and Grant Cardone, and how their information, in short, negatively impacts the Black community. That video was crazy. Y'all go and check it out. It was one, I believe that was one of the last Wealth Wednesdays. I don't believe that was a Money Mindset. It's all the same thing, just a different title for these, so I can drop these on Fridays instead of having my brain, pigeonhole myself into Wednesdays. But before we get started, you know what to do. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you leave those written reviews on the podcast platforms as well. Look, we doing our best to stay consistent. Y'all are continuing to run up the numbers. Check us out. I don't know if we hit a string in the algorithm or anything like that, but we appreciate y'all comments and y'all feedback that y'all continue to give us on YouTube. Again, if you guys want to see us discuss anything, please let us know. Pretty much anything is on the table. That's why we say everything in between. But I would just say truly appreciate y'all, all the comments and running up the numbers for us. And I just keep saying again, it's truly appreciated. Monthly car payment, again, we did that last week because I was beginning of May. Student loans. I saw a student loan article, but it was about Biden forgiving like $70 billion or something dollars, but it wasn't that long, and it was for service workers. And maybe I'll look over to see if it's skim through it to see if it's worth reading. But student loans is still on hold. I feel like with student loans, like it's building up. All right. I haven't done a serious student loan article in a long time. I do have it on my list to give like a different type of recap of student loans with a lot of other information, but we're still holding off on student loans. I want something significant to happen in my eyes is going to happen on the student loan front, at least in theory, for potential policy when we get this election cycle really going up for 2024. All right. And again, last but not least, don't sue me. Sue your mama. This is for entertainment purpose only. Myself, nor Jordan, fitness professionals. Anything you hear is for entertainment purpose only, and you need to seek a professional and do your own research before taking any action. All right. Again, last but not least, my information as well as my coach Jordan information can be found in the description on YouTube. Jordan Stop Stalling J on socials. His business page is finallyfit.live. And then for myself, I'm sideline_Corey on socials. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. Kiyosaki versus, I wasn't even trying to say it like Kiyosaki, whatever it is. Robert Kiyosaki versus Dave Ramsey. Again, we're going to go to MoneyWise. Let me go ahead and share the screen. And I'm interested to see how this article, this seems like it's going to be like a contrast article, like putting them against each other. So interested to see. All right. Who was right? And the Yahoo Finance article was said a 4-minute read too. Well, that's 4-minute read. I guess that's a 4-minute audio. But the Yahoo Finance article wasn't broken up into sections like how I like. Anyways, who was right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki bragged that being 1.2 billion. I told y'all maybe like a couple years ago, Robert Kiyosaki said he was like $700 million, $800 million in debt. Now, again, that's not his net worth. That's how much he is in debt. But he's saying 1.2 billion in debt is better than friend, quote unquote, Dave Ramsey's mantra, living debt free. Let's go real quick. Let's pull up the net worth of these two. I don't know. Again, I don't read these articles ahead of time. Let's see if we can get Robert's net worth. And we get Dave Ramsey's net worth. Okay, it's not popping up like I wanted to. So we're going to go celebrity net worth, I guess, saying Robert Kiyosaki is 100 million. So if he's got 1.2 billion in debt and his net worth is 100 million, that means he would have 1.3 billion in assets. All right, that's from celebrity net worth. Let's go Dave Ramsey. See, Investopedia is saying Dave at 200 million. Let's go back. Let's do here, same article again, 200 million again. Now Dave I believe says that the new, it's not, I mean, relatively new, like in the last 5 years, so office that he's in now, where they hold the show from, I feel like he says that's in the $300 million range, I believe, if I remember that correctly. But Dave's got per celebrity what net worth, how valid is that? Robert Kiyosaki's at 100 million, and then per celebrity net worth, and then Investopedia's, I would say, pretty reliable, saying Dave's got 200 million. So Dave's got double the net worth of Robert Kiyosaki. He doesn't have near the assets that Robert Kiyosaki has, but he has double the net worth. So again, assets, shout out to, earn your leisure, assets over liabilities, but your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. And since Dave Ramsey lives debt free, he per him has no debt at all. So he just has $200 million in assets, $0 in debt. So his net worth is $200 million. And Robert Kiyosaki, based off of the internet, he would have to have 1.3 billion in assets. All right. So he's not a billionaire, but he does have over $1 billion in assets. All right. Here we go. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, publicly challenged finance guru Dave Ramsey on X. Kiyosaki, they're always going back and forth. I mean, Dave is, is it Susie? I forget the other person, the lady's name, but her and Dave are like the two most notorious people, Dave being the most notorious without question, from being quote unquote, not quote unquote living completely debt free, and Robert, Grant Cardone, pretty much everyone else using debt or leverage, as they call it, in some form or fashion, to run their businesses. Yeah, Kiyosaki proudly proclaimed his 1.2 billion debt, challenging the conventional wisdom that it's better to be debt free. In March, Kiyosaki, I'm doing terrible. Excuse me, Victoria. All right, if you're the first time listening, the names of these authors, they haven't been tripping me up as of late. I guess I'm getting better. But Veskovsky. All right, and this was updated on April 29, 2024. All right, again in March, Robert posted, my friend Dave Ramsey says live debt free. I say I use debt to invest. I'm 1.2 billion in debt again. Who is right? I would say, based off the quick internet search, Dave will be right because his net worth is higher. I mean, what is Robert using to determine? I know he can't be saying the fact that he has more debt makes him right. I would say that wouldn't be the logical way to think about that. Kiyosaki champions an investment philosophy that leverages debt, not as a burden, but as a tool to build wealth by investing in tangible assets such as precious metals. All right, so you're talking about gold here. Dave does not believe it. I mean, this is not I don't know if I should ever do an episode about breaking down, Dave Ramsey's philosophy, because I believe that people use Dave Ramsey when they talk about him negatively, or they just use like for clickbait. And I believe his name is like sensational for the sensational. It's sensational for the algorithm. I believe if you want to get something to go viral, just talk bad about Dave Ramsey / Ramsey Solutions, and you're bound to get your post to do some numbers. And I think people just do that, for the internet, but they actually don't disagree with his principles / philosophies. Not saying they 100% agree, because you don't 100% agree with anybody, but they don't just flat out disagree. And then when you listen to their principles, a lot of people's stuff mirrors Dave Ramsey. And when you just sit down and just do, a blanket thing of the 7 baby steps and not like attach Dave Ramsey's name to it, most people agree with it. Not just agree with the 7 baby steps, but usually agree with the order. All right, but I was like, maybe one day I should be like, why do people disagree with Dave Ramsey? Why is there Dave Ramsey hate? And then show like, this is just what the principles are, and show how most people will agree with it. But here we go. Don't miss. Wait, commercial. Okay, that's ad. All right. By choosing assets he hears Robert Kiyosaki. He believes will withstand economic fluctuations. Kiyosaki built a portfolio that reflects his skepticism for traditional monetary systems. However, this approach has resulted in a massive amount of debt, which he often brags about. If you want to invest like Kiyosaki without going to $1 billion of debt, here's how you can get started. Let's be clear. To get $1 billion in debt, you have to, I would think in theory, if you're not, breaking the law / scamming, you have to have some ability to generate some type of revenue and profit. Not going to get to $1 billion in debt, right? By just playing around. You can get to $1 million, but $1 billion? Nah, you get into 1,000 million? No. You had technically have 1,200 million here because you got 1.2 billion in debt. Here we go. Gold. Precious metals like gold and silver are widely favored as safeguards against inflation and economic instability. Kiyosaki agrees with this, acknowledging the U.S. dollar's disconnection from the gold standard since 1971. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki and is it Steve? I can't remember Steve's name, but I know there are 2 people that believe going into debt. But Yeah, since 1971 during the presidency of Richard Nixon. In October, Kiyosaki predicted gold will soon break through 2100 and then take off. You will wish you had bought gold below 2000. Next stop 3700. What's it at now? If you want to diversify your portfolio with gold, consider opening a gold IRA. Okay, with help. Okay, it's an advertisement. Okay. So they're saying that you can get tax advantages of a traditional retirement account with gold. Okay, cool. All right, another ad. Okay, ad again. All right, Bitcoin. Though Kiyosaki has reservations about the stock market, he appears unfazed by the volatile nature of cryptocurrency. See, when it comes to people, disagreeing with the stock market, it's one thing if you don't want to invest in the stock market, but what it's been doing essentially the entire life of the stock market is going up. Like that's without doubt. I mean, there's a reason S&P 500 is the marker that everything is measured against. Now, if you want to believe, right, you don't trust it, people messing around with the numbers, things like that, that's one thing. But to say one thing the numbers are doing over time is going up. All right. If you're looking to invest in Bitcoin, watch out for high commission fees, no crypto trades. With Robinhood, you can buy and sell crypto with no commission fees. Shout out to Robinhood. By the way, and I'm just going to do the distraction again. I wonder what Robinhood is doing now. How is Robinhood doing now? Can I easily pull it up? I can't easily pull it up. I remember I would always check and see how Robinhood stock was doing since the IPO. With Robinhood, okay, again, just advertising here. Okay, another shout out to Robinhood. All right, here we go. Managing debt. Are we going to get into Dave at all? I guess not. Managing debt. While Kiyosaki advocates using debt to acquire assets, it's important to remember that this approach carries many inherent risks. This article is going to be a little. If having debt hanging over your head is a burden, an online marketplace. Okay, credible again. My goodness. Okay, who's right? If you're unsure about where you fall on the debate between Kiyosaki and Ramsey, it might make sense to get a take from a qualified financial professional. Good point there. Kiyosaki often urges his followers on X to be cautious when choosing a financial advisor, urging people to be cautious of the intentions of their advisors. Part of February post from Kiyosaki reads, "Don't be a loser, choose your financial advisor carefully." True. Oh, dang. Shout out to Victoria Vescovisky. This one a little, maybe I should go to Yahoo Finance. All right, we're gonna go over to Yahoo Finance, see how much better that article is. But who's right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Author Robert Kiyosaki bragged that being 1.2 billion in debt is better than friend Dave Ramsey's mantra of debt free. Okay, let's go to Yahoo Finance real quick. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, yo. All right, y'all. My bad. Let's skim over this Yahoo Finance one. Okay, same thing. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki. Okay, 1.2 billion. Comparing to Dave Ramsey, saying live debt free. This is Jeannie Mancini. Okay, March 19, 2024. Okay, another short article. Okay, his post on X. Okay, contrasting the stance with that of radio personality Dave Ramsey, who's right. All right, let's see. Okay, Kiyosaki's argument unfolds with a reflection on the wisdom behind Dave Ramsey's advice versus his own, acknowledging the validity of living debt-free for the majority. He said, for most people with low financial acumen, Dave's advice is a smart advice. Okay, for dumb people, we should follow Dave Ramsey's advice. According to Robert Kiyosaki, yet he counters this by highlighting the potential benefits of debt as an investment tool. Okay, already mentioned. For the financially educated and experienced, my advice may be better. Kiyosaki, see, Dave Ramsey says his advice is better. All right, this is a quote, so I'm assuming this is what Mr. Kiyosaki said here, suggesting a tailored approach to financial decision making based on individual knowledge and experience levels. I think the one thing with Dave Ramsey too is that he has very clear, very easy to research steps in relation to his plan. Whether or not you agree with his plan or not, he says these are my 7 steps, and this is what everyone should do, like in this order, regardless of their situation. There's small caveats. Right, some people are in very unreal financial situations, so he has small caveats for those particular people. But 99% of people, he says, can get funneled into his financial ideology. which is in short the 7 baby steps. He doesn't care where you're at. He assesses your whole financial plan, and then he figures out if you have debt, you go all the way back to baby step number 2. And if you got more than $1,000, if you don't have $1,000 saved, you go back to baby step 1. You get your $1,000 saved. If you're someone who has over $1,000 saved, consumer debt, then everything over 1,000, including things that are in taxable brokerage accounts, those will get liquidated. You can put money aside for taxes, and everything else is going to go towards your debt until you're out of baby step 2. And he's going to put you, into the baby steps. For other people, and this, I would say other people don't do what they do. Dave Ramsey is not just known for his ideas on living completely debt free, but just all the wealth of information that he has on it. He doesn't do it anymore every single day, but he has a daily radio show Monday through Friday. I believe it's like 2 to 5 Tennessee time, so at standard time or central time. But he's been on the air for essentially 30 years giving out financial information, and he has created a very robust plan around his 7 baby steps and built a large team around it. Versus Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, their knowledge as far as what's in their head on how people should operate their finances isn't as easy and readily accessible as Dave Ramsey says. Yes, they all have books, cool books, but you can just Google, Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps. All right, boom, this is what you do for your finances. He's got the Every Dollar Budget app. I'm not aware of Kiyosaki or Grant Cardone having apps like that to help you with your finances on the personal side. So there are things like that where even David just put so much into actually helping people out with their finances, not just saying, hey, do my plan. Is it Susie Orman? I feel like it's Susie Orman. All right, your perspective. Okay, Kiyosaki's financial journey. Okay, existential debt. He's saying that's not a burden. Okay, cool. Okay, we're talking about 1971, the gold. If I go bust, the bank goes bust. Not my problem. He said, okay, ride or die. He views debt not only as a leverage tool, but also as a means to potentially exploit tax advantages. True, because when you're accrued debt, you don't pay any taxes. He's repeatedly declared being a debtor means he does not pay taxes. That's true. All right, 2022 YouTube short ads. Depth to Kiyosaki's perspective, showcasing the direct critique of debt-free lifestyle popularized by Dave Ramsey. Okay, talking about his friend living debt-free. He said he's an idiot. Like, bro, I mean, they're both old. I mean, Kiyosaki's probably older than Dave, but it's not like they're gonna have a Drake and Kendrick beef type of thing, right? But I mean, are you calling him an idiot? Cool. I mean, he's my friend, but I say, Dave, I like that. Okay, cool. I think Kiyosaki talks more about his relationship with Dave Ramsey than Dave Ramsey does Kiyosaki. I think people bring up his relationship with Robert Kiyosaki, but it doesn't seem like whenever I hear Dave talk, which I've heard, watch his YouTube channel a handful of times, he doesn't bring up Kiyosaki that much on his own. From what I've seen more of Kiyosaki, bringing up Dave. In short, at the heart of this debate lies the key issue of financial literacy. Kiyosaki emphasized the importance of individual acumen again, urging his audience to evaluate their literacy. True. And I guess that's a good caveat, right? He's not saying just hop in, and do what I'm saying to do. He's saying first you need to get your financial literacy, your acumen up before you start, operating how I'm telling you how to operate. Okay, question who is right depends on your individual goals. That's true. And your comfort level with debt. The second thing I recommend is define how you want to handle debt and handle that way. For those of you who want to, use debt, have a high credit score, all right. I mean, that's a lifestyle you want to live. I mean, again, there are people who have money who use debt and people who have money who don't use debt, and everything in between as far as using debt. That's a fact. It'd be a lie to say that's not true. All right, for some, the idea of owing more to creditors is unbearable, creating immense stress and anxiety. But the issue is most people, can't use debt in the way that Kiyosaki is referencing. Having zero debt provides peace of mind and aligns with a more conservative, risk-averse approach. No, it is a more conservative and risk-averse approach to personal finances. However, for others like Kiyosaki, using debt as a tool to invest and grow wealth is a core part of their business and investment strategy. And that's what I was talking about as far as Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. Yes, Robert Kiyosaki has the business, the worker. I forget his quadrant of the type of quote unquote workers out there as far as how you pay taxes, investors, things like that. But that's really the only thing I've seen with him as far as the breadth and depth of information in comparison to Dave Ramsey and Ramsey Solutions. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki's model is built on leveraging debt to acquire assets while using that debt to reduce tax liabilities. Fact. Okay, all right, boom. So look, I guess we had to read the same article twice again. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki asks, who's right? He is a billionaire, 1.2 billion in debt. No, he's not a billionaire. He has $1 billion in assets. This is not true. But Dave Ramsey says live debt free. You're not a billionaire because you have 1.2 billion in debt. I would say that makes you like the complete opposite of a billionaire. And again, this was by Jeannie Massini. All right. That's it, y'all. Locked and loaded. In-depth episode. This is again, I don't read these articles ahead of time. So sometimes, hey, might get a little dub, but that's sometimes why I look up multiple articles if it's not, Yahoo Finance, like I did a second time, or CNBC, New York, Washington Post, any, the larger type of news people out there. I usually don't bring up a backup, but when it's somebody else, I'm like, all right, let's get somebody a chance. You see what happens. But again, necessities, debt payments, investments, lifestyle. I mean, if you never listened to this show, I would be, in short, team. I keep saying I gotta put my books up. His book fell down because it's the book that isn't standing up against anything. So you guys can just like see him peering over my shoulder, which it should be like right there over my left shoulder. But I think, again, for people who want to go into debt, then make use of that. But it's always interesting when people saying they want to make use of debt leverage and their credit score is trash. Like, if that's the lifestyle you want to live, then at some point in time, you have to show that lifestyle is benefiting you. Most people are struggling financially. I've already said this before. Most people, the Ramsey plan is going to be your best fit and going to be your ticket to success. It's very simple as far as the steps. It's 7 major things that you need to do, and you're going to spend most of your time doing the first probably 2 to 3. I mean, you spend most of the time getting on baby step number 2 and getting out of debt. But once you get out of debt and build your savings, you're doing 4, 5, and 6, investing, saving for a down payment if you don't have a down payment, but investing in yourself as far as retirement, your kids' college fund, and paying down your mortgage. For those of you who want a house, you're going to spend a majority of your time in those steps. And eventually, baby step 7, once you have your house paid off, is just you're just building wealth, live like no one else. So later, you can live and give like no one else, and you're enjoying your life from a financial standpoint. Or you can make use of debt, which most people already do. That's why they kind of come over to the Dave Ramsey side of things, and most people aren't having success with the debt. That's the one thing too. There you see a lot of people, which is I would say most of the people who have followed the Ramsey steps were living a life that is closer to Robert Kiyosaki in the sense of they're making use of debt. Dave Ramsey is not saying make use of debt at all. Outside of the fact that he's saying one time get a 15-year fixed rate for your mortgage, no more than 25% of your take-home pay. Outside of that, he's never going to tell you to use debt or go into more debt. He'll tell you to take out a loan if it involves you like decreasing your debt, but he never actually tells you to go into more debt. All right. But rarely, if ever, do you hear someone saying they did the Dave Ramsey plan, they didn't like it, and they went and did, a debt-based plan from Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Graham Stephan, whoever it is out there. You rarely, if ever, see that. You see everyone coming over from using debt to now doing no debt to Dave Ramsey. We don't see people going from Dave Ramsey to Kiyosaki type of mindset. So I think that in and of itself should let you know how, people are operating. Now, there are some people who do that, but those are more like the financial influencers out there who, like I said, are using Dave Ramsey's name in a negative way to run their numbers up in the algorithm, right? They're saying, oh, I was struggling financially, but now, I'm making use of real estate, having multiple homes, things like that. But a lot of people, shout to Anton Daniels, one of the GOATs, to let you know, it's like when people are saying they're having debt from the standpoint you've seen people talking on the internet, they're not showing the receipts. They're not showing all this information. They're just talking. When you actually get into their lifestyle and see how they're actually doing, they're not doing as well as you think they are. But social media, right? You see these posts and you think everybody's living just this lavish lifestyle. I remember there's one guy when Instagram was like first started kicking off. I mean, his name was Lavish something. It's like this Middle Eastern looking dude. I don't know if y'all remember him. I mean, he's probably one of the first IG type of scammers. But yeah, anyways, though, I said y'all locked and loaded into the episode. Make sure y'all comment, like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. My information as well as my coach Jordan information can be found in the description on YouTube. Jordan Stop Saul and Jay on socials. His business page is finallyfit.live. That's where you can go to sign up for the 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time virtual training sessions. And then for myself, I'm Salah_Corey. You can reach out to me for the financial coaching information. All right. Again, y'all, we appreciate the numbers. I mean, I know we have to release information for y'all to consume it, but we appreciate y'all continuing to increase the engagement. We finally got over, I say like finally, like we've been waiting, but we got over 100 subscribers. Watch time is going up, all these different type of things. So we appreciate y'all. But again, If y'all want to come up on here, let me know. I can start live streaming this, putting time in my calendar so y'all can discuss these topics. I already told y'all can always come up here and give any pushback or any feedback that y'all want to give. I'm all about engagement and having people be able to speak, what they want to say. I always say, and people say I argue a lot, but I never tell. I'm not gonna say I don't cut people off. But I never tell people to stop talking. You can make your point. I will sit here and talk to you all day. Not now because I got a son who might be here in the background, but I will let people come up here, book a time, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and have various people come up here on the pod. If that's what y'all want to do. I'm all about having people be able to speak their mind and see what people are thinking, because a lot of the stuff people say, like when they like to the Kevin Samuels recipes, Kevin Samuels, but when you get into like that side of social media when it talks about relationships, a lot of times people say that's what's on the internet. However, a lot of that stuff is in real life. You start meeting people and it's like, oh, I thought you were just an internet type of mindset. No, this is a lot of these people have some of these mindsets in real life when it comes to relationships. And I'm interested to see the same thing when it comes to the financial perspective. Because me, shout out to rest in peace Mint, right? Pull up your Mint. We need receipts, right? So it's one thing just to say, you agree with this, but how are you applying this particular lifestyle from a financial standpoint in your life, and what results are you getting? All right, again, Team Dave Ramsey over here. I prefer the no debt. I used to have the debt, all right, but I was like, man, let me aggressively pay this off because I like that cash flow getting increased on a month-to-month basis. Paid off my wife's car literally almost a year on the day. It might be almost a year like on the dot, but as far as the day of the week that we got our car, literally a year later, we paid it off. So again, back into no more debt. Like that's what I recommend everyone to do, especially everyone under 30. If you can get out of debt and build your 3 to 6 months of emergency fund before you turn 30, I don't think that you should like literally do anything else. Like that should be your main focus until you do that, because you're going to have so much of your life to, in short, live your life from a lifestyle type of perspective, that if you can get everything done as far as foundationally, no debt, besides a mortgage, and 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, oh my goodness. See them people talking about getting married and struggling financially. Well, if two people come together with $10,000 each, that's $20K, and no debt and no kids, I think y'all gonna be in a pretty good situation. All right, because you both only need to make $25 an hour to get to 100K, and that's good starting out. See, a lot of people want to live the lifestyle for people who've been working 30, 40 years. And then you see the people that be scamming and lying on the internet. Don't forget, a lot of these scammers out here, they're not quote unquote scamming no more, is because now y'all have given them real money, right? Y'all paid for their courses. So now they actually have money to go and live this lifestyle and invest and do these type of things. Versus when I say, hey, where did you get this money from originally? Oh, we can't find those receipts. We can't find those receipts. All right. But that's it, y'all. Locked and loaded. Remember to save more and say less. Keep making better your best. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.